All right, y'all, file this under things you won't see on Joe Rogan's podcast. That's where you can file this one. Okay, so look at this. Here we have from SciTech Daily. Scientists close in on a universal cancer vaccine from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, December 3rd, 2025. Here we go. A new nanoparticle vaccine successfully prevented several aggressive cancers in mice, including pancreatic and melanoma. The treatment activated strong immune memory, keeping up to 88% of vaccinated mice tumor-free and stopping cancer from spreading. By teaching the immune system to target cancer antigens, the vaccine showed long-lasting protection and broad potential. Nanoparticle vaccine shows strong cancer prevention in mice. A research team at the University of Massachusetts Amherst has shown that a nanoparticle-based vaccine can successfully prevent melanoma, pancreatic cancer, and triple-negative breast cancer in mice. Depending on the cancer type, as many as 88% of vaccinated mice remain free of tumors, depending on the cancer, and the approach reduced in some instances entirely blocked the spread of cancer in the body. Quote, by engineering these nanoparticles to activate the immune system via multi-pathway activation that combines with cancer-specific antigens, we can prevent tumor growth with remarkable survival rates, says Prabhani Atukarali, assistant professor of biomedical engineering in the Riccio College of Engineering at UMass Amherst and corresponding author on the paper. Atukarali's earlier work found that her nanoparticle-based drug design could shrink or eliminate existing tumors in mice. The new results reveal that the same technology also works as a preventative strategy. That's insane. So we had talked about a young girl with melanoma. She was cured by a gene editing treatment. And this is the exact treatment that Trump and Elon Musk and MAGA and Doge, they cut funding for that treatment. They also cut funding for like long-term diabetes treatment, Alzheimer's treatment. There was all of these scientific inquiries and studies being done, and they just absolutely destroyed all of it. So we had a cure for leukemia. They cut the funding immediately, right? Now, that was one thing. But now we're talking about something different here. This is for all these other different kinds of cancer, and they realized in this study that it works as like a vaccine to prevent cancer. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. It reminds me of, and by the way, I want to know what the fuck ever happened to this, because I remember seeing the story and haven't heard about it since. Nobody talked about it since. There's been no update on like we started funding the shit out of this. But there was that story. Do you guys remember this from Vice? I want to say it was like 2015-ish, around there. And it was about how they used other viruses to kill cancer. Like if you injected people with cancer with certain viruses, the virus would specifically attack just the tumor and destroy the tumor. And basically the episode of Vice was like, hey, we kind of cured certain types of cancer here. Like we had an approach that worked. And so if I remember correctly, they'd inject them with the virus, put them in like a medically induced coma. A day or two later, you'd wake up and like you're fucking cancer free. It was crazy. But I remember that, and I'm like, what the fuck ever happened? Why are we not talking about that? Has there not been more breakthroughs? Have they not fucking put that into practice? Kind of crazy, right? But you got that story, now you got this. You got the gene editing one, and now you got this one. This is crazy. I mean, it sounds like this is in rats, so it hasn't been proven in humans yet. But this is like on the brink of a true universal cancer vaccine. Which, again, let me reiterate, you're not going to see this on Joe Rogan's show, because Joe Rogan is an anti-vax idiot, and he's against modern science, and he refuses to take yes for an answer when experts go, hey, we have this thing that works. He goes, really? I got some asshole charlatan snake oil salesman who tells me it doesn't, so I'm going to listen to that guy. Well, thanks, Joe. Thank you. Spreading fucking medical misinformation and fucking putting your audience in danger. So they say testing the vaccine with melanoma antigens. In the first phase of the study, the researchers paired the nanoparticle platform with well-known melanoma peptides called an antigen, similar to how a flu shot typically contains parts of the inactivated flu virus. This combination activated T cells, which were then primed to recognize and destroy melanoma cells. 3 weeks after vaccination, the mice were challenged with melanoma. 80% of the mice given this super adjuvant nanoparticle vaccine remained tumor-free and survived for the entire 250-day study. Every mouse that received a traditional vaccine, a non-nanoparticle formulation, or no vaccine at all, developed tumors and none lived beyond 35 days. Holy fucking shit. The vaccine also prevented melanoma from spreading to the lungs. When the mice were systemically exposed to melanoma cells in a way that mimics metastasis, none of the nanoparticle vaccinated mice formed lung tumors, while all other mice did. Metastasis across the board is the highest hurdle for cancer, says Adokarale. The vast majority of tumor mortality is still due to metastasis, and it almost trumps us working in difficult-to-reach cancers, such as melanoma and pancreatic cancer. Yeah, that's the deadliest one, bro. The deadliest one is pancreatic. That's what they say. Long-lasting immune memory across the body. Adokarale refers to this protection as memory immunity. That is a real advantage of immunotherapy because memory is not only sustained locally, she says, we have memory systemically, which is very important. The immune system spans the entire geography of the body. The first round of testing used antigens designed specifically for melanoma. Developing customized antigens for every cancer type, however, often requires a whole genome sequencing or advanced bioinformatics. To address this challenge, the researchers conducted a second experiment using killed cancer cells from the tumor itself, known as tumor lysate. Mice vaccinated with the nanoparticle lysate formulation were then exposed to melanoma, pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma, or triple-negative breast cancer cells. High tumor rejection rates across multiple cancers. That's insane. 88% reduction in pancreatic cancer cases, 75% of breast cancer cases, 69% of melanoma cases. Every vaccinated mouse that remained tumor-free also resisted metastasis when later exposed systemically to cancer cells. This is insane, bro. It's a good thing that we got somebody in the White House now that is not interested in funding this sort of research. It's a great thing. It's awesome. So really, that's what we're dodging now, bro. That's what we're dodging is I'm worried about further budget cuts. I'm worried about further medical research cuts. But this is what you get from real science, right? This is what you get from real science. People should be fucking doing cartwheels in the streets over this. So just amazing news. It reminds me how much I love science, if I'm being honest. This reminds me how amazing science is, how much I love science, and how we can always, with more research and more funding and more expertise, we can actually defeat, like, humanity's biggest fucking enemies. We can do it. But we need to not fucking self-sabotage and not vote for anti-science cranks. And of course, that's who we're currently being run by now, complete cranks. Remember that study that just came out that talked about the COVID vaccine and how it has all sorts of upsides that people didn't realize. Like, there was people lived way longer. People who had, like, stage 4 cancer were given the COVID vaccine, and they all ended up living way longer. So, like, something about it just helped extend people's lives when they had cancer. It was this amazing study that came out. Again, nobody's going to talk about it because the only thing that's popular online, the only thing that blows up online is all of the stupid charlatan, snake oil salesman, junk fake science from right-wing idiots. The people who wouldn't know a double-blind, placebo-controlled study if it hit them across the fucking head. And, of course, who's running science nationally now was the head of HHS, RFK. This is a guy who limited the COVID vaccine, put vaccine skeptics on the advisory panel, fired the CDC director after a month because the CDC director refused to go along with his junk science, fired over 1,200 people at the Epidemic Intelligence Service, ended our support for the global vaccine program, helped kick millions off Medicaid, canceled the flu vaccine campaign, tried to link antidepressants to violence was just a fucking lie, laid off thousands of HHS workers, released a Maha report that was fake with made-up ChatGPT bullshit in it. There were mass resignations because RFK was making these horrible decisions. He told Bernie healthcare isn't a right. And of course, he also thinks nicotine is good for you, methylene blue is good for you. He takes testosterone and human growth hormone. And he takes a peptide that makes his skin darker. And he's obsessed with mitochondria and eats roadkill. So that's who's now running the shit. And, I almost want to say, hide this news from these assholes. Hide it. Hide it. Because God forbid this comes out. By next week, they'll go on this crusade about how this thing is fake and this thing is trying to kill you and et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's funny. They always said that. Republicans always said that about the left. If Donald Trump were to cure cancer, these people wouldn't fucking, agree with it. They would still attack him. Meanwhile, what I'm scared of is here we might have a cancer cure and fucking Trump and RFK might kill that shit and snuff it out in the crib. That's what I'm afraid of. It's always so ironic when they made that argument too, because like, you guys cut pediatric cancer research. So Trump didn't cure cancer, quite the fucking opposite. He cut cancer research and MAGA still sucked him off. So you guys are what you pretend we are. If he actually cured cancer, I'd say, good, that's great. I'm happy that he cured cancer. But he cut cancer research for kids and you guys go, that's fine, I still like him. Insane. But this is an amazing breakthrough and people should be celebrating over it. And let's see how those human trials, can't come fast enough, right? Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.